more than 80 to 90% of the immune system is located within the gut. I think nutrition is a powerful way of calming the immune system, or at least modulating the immune system in the right direction. Hi, welcome back to this channel. Well, thank you so much for all the feedback that you've been giving me on the videos that I've been making. And I thought I'll take an opportunity in this video to address one of the questions that was brought forward by one of the listeners, and she asks about immune system calming measures and any foods that I would particularly suggest to avoid. Now, immune system calming measures are, in my view, broadly similar to what we'd use to calm the nervous system as well. So there is a lot of similarity. And in my book, I really talk about the option of saying that we should be looking at a more integrated approach. And what do I therefore mean by that? There are many things that we can use to calm the immune system down. My role is to particularly explore the issues of sleep optimization, physical activity, the use of mind-body techniques, especially those that can calm the autonomic nervous system, are also equally effective in calming the immune system. A huge amount of work goes into the breathing techniques and vagal stimulation techniques, which can be quite useful in calming the immune system as well. And mainly, there is a big focus now on stress reduction techniques that are able to harness the vagus nerve. And using cold water, for example, is another way of trying to stimulate the vagus nerve and actually reduce some of the stress chemicals and immune chemicals that are released. So these would be the usual strategies that I would suggest in terms of calming the immune system. But one big place, and this is because more than 80 to 90% of the immune system is located within the gut. I think nutrition is a powerful way of calming the immune system, or at least modulating the immune system in the right direction. And in this focus here, there has been a lot of research, and I think nutrition is a very contentious field, and the challenge is that the epidemiology, meaning that a lot of nutrition is around looking at what people are asked to eat, and then you kind of do a diary where you ask them what they have eaten. You're dependent on what they are able to recollect about what they've eaten. And so that subjective nature means that the research that comes out from there often can be interpreted in different ways. And that means there is a very strong debate and views about what kind of foods are good to have, what kind of foods are bad to have, and what are the ones that we must avoid or recommend. So I'm not going to get into the debate of that, but what I want to think about and what I want to leave you thinking about is this focus on how do we think about food. And in this, I would suggest we look at a classification called the NOVA system. Now, this system of classification, which came out in the last 10 years, it's got its own share of controversy. Mind that, I'm not saying that it is the best thing, but it gives us a good idea in terms of how much processing has been done for the food, because in my view, the processing of the food can sometimes be a big part of how the health and the healthy aspects of foods are reduced. So NOVA has got 4 classes. Class 1 is essentially very minimally processed or unprocessed. These are by far the healthiest. Class 2 is those that are minimally processed and they have a small amount of change, but you can still recognize what they were as Mother Nature intended them. Class 3 is more or less moderately processed foods, where you might have pizza bases which don't look very much like what they did, but there is some recognition of the degree of processing, and most of the foodstuffs that are available in our supermarkets would come under the moderately processed and grade 3 of NOVA. Grade 4 is what we'd call almost ultra processed foods, or these are synthetically made. And that means that these are probably the ones that are the best to be avoided completely. There is some challenge in that there are manufacturers trying to look and see whether you can get some healthy ultra processed foods. Now that might seem like an oxymoron and a paradox, and that's something that we should encourage, but that's what there is a criticism of the NOVA classification, that if you say that we have to never have class 4 ultra processed foods, then manufacturers may not have any incentives to do it. But by the by, what we need to look at is these 4 classifications and aim to have more of class 1 and class 2 foods and avoid class 4 as much as possible and keep class 3 to a minimum extent on a daily basis if we can. That's the overall aspect, and that would ensure that our immune system from a nutritional perspective isn't further damaged. I hope this video has been useful for you. Please keep the comments coming, and if you want me to go into deeper depth around these classifications, let me know. Thank you for listening. I hope you subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it of value. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel and click on the bell button to be notified when the next video comes along.